Hey, what's going on, gamers? Famous YouTuber Fireshepard here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play and actually win in the game Trouble Brewing. And you can do it completely solo, although sometimes the enemy team or even your own team can make things way more difficult for you than they actually need to be. Things that you can bring into this game that will make it a little bit easier are a dragon axe or higher. I mean, you could bring a crystal axe, a full graceful minus the hat. You might be able to bring in the hat, but I'm not too sure. And an explorer's ring. Uh, so the first thing you want to do is take 5 bowls. You could take a torch. It's not super important. A tinderbox, a knife, and I take 5, sometimes more. We could take more meat because the meat tends to fail. And once you have all that, what you're going to want to do is you see these mounds here. You use the meat on those. So this is going to be like our route. We're going to run this a couple of times throughout the game, and then we're going to focus on scoring points towards the end of the game. Now these mounds, whenever they go like that, they will also be unable to collect from. There's also a chance that a swarm of flies will spawn and attack you. They're not gonna You're not at any risk of dying. I'm pretty sure even if you do die, it's a safe death, so you won't really lose anything. These scrapey trees, now you don't want to chop the regular trees because those would just give you logs, and I've never had the log storage run out, so I don't think you'll ever actually have to chop logs, especially if you're soloing it. You're not going to be able to use enough logs anyways. So there's a swarm I was telling you about. Now, the center island also has another one of these trees and a mound for the sweet grubs. So collect those when you see that. Now, over here, we actually collected too much stuff, as you can see, because we want to have 5 inventory spaces left. So a few things that we're going to drop are going to be this meat. We can use the torch. I'll show you what that's for. So you light it with a tinderbox, and you can burn stuff in the enemy team's base. If you want to be a dick, and I think it's kind of funny, burn the hopper upstairs on their side that they put the water in, because everybody's doing that. So, if they don't know how to actually play, or if they're botting, it's just going to make the game impossible for them to get their participation trophy. Burning stuff is based on your fire making level. I don't think burning actually gives you anything, but it's kind of fun to do. So we have 1, 2, 3. We need to clear up 2 more spots, so we will drop 2 of those. Now, with these flowers, you can only carry 5 of them, and you can't drop trick it. So it is something to keep in mind. That's why we want to plan out the route. I did go a little overboard with the sweet grubs and the logs. Usually you'll fail a lot more with the sweet grubs collecting on those mounds. Once you have all this stuff, you want to go upstairs. As you can see on the wall, it'll show you what ingredients go where. I did not know that at the start whenever I first played this years ago, and it made it very tedious. You do get a lot of cooking XP from this minigame. So if you have a team that's actually playing and you're designated to collecting 1 ingredient, it is really nice. It's also really solid fletching XP if you want to collect these scrappy barks, and it's also, if you want to AFK and you have somebody on your team playing and you want to help, obviously the most helpful thing that you can do is collect collect the enemy team's flowers and bring them over. With the flowers, it's kind of like your bread and butter. You need it for so many different things when it comes to scoring points in this minigame. So you use it on this kettle, and it's a very tedious process. So it sucks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the flowers is definitely the worst thing about this minigame, because you have to do this 1 at a time. You can only collect 5 at a time, and the whole thing just absolutely sucks. Once you're back over, you can restock on the tool bench and go for another run. There isn't really an amount that you should aim to do. It's just kind of whatever you feel. You can collect another torch if you'd like and run another trip over. Now, you don't want to dump the bowls upstairs immediately because, like I said, you need the dies for a lot of different things in the minigame. So one of them is coming to the center island, or any of the center islands. This one's just the most convenient, although your team or the enemy team can mess you up when it comes to this. It says Bitternut Tree, you want to make him angry. When you make him angry, it's supposed to make him go faster, but there's more of a chance that he'll get caught and you won't get the Bitternut. But I have never, in all the time that I've played this minigame, had the monkey get caught. Now, what's weird about the Bitternuts, and some more jank about this minigame, is that you can only carry 2 at a time. So you can carry 5 flowers and 2 Bitternuts. It makes no sense. This game is so jank. The games are 20 minutes, and what I found was soloing, you can get anywhere from like 4 to 6 points depending on how, sweaty you're being and how efficient your route is. I don't know what the most absolute tick perfect route is, and I honestly don't really care because soloing this is not exactly, a super amazing strategy in any like meaningful way. So one of the things that can happen when you do this strappy bark is I think you can get disease. It only happened to me once, but it's kind of weird. Don't panic. It's not really going to affect you. I've never seen anyone die in this minigame. I'm sure it's probably possible. And we have a torch still, so I guess we can burn stuff. Sometimes you won't burn anything. It is based on your wood cutting, not your wood cutting level, your fire making level. So if you have a low fire making level, you probably won't burn anything. So once we have everything, some more ingredients, we're going to make another run over, and we're probably going to aim for 4, maybe 5 points this game. I haven't really decided. So once you have more flowers, run them over here, put them in the hopper, or not the hopper, the kettle, and yeah, from there we can put the rest of our ingredients upstairs. So it looks like we're probably going to be good on sweet grubs and maybe the tree bark. We're definitely good on the tree bark, so we're not going to collect any more of that. And it looks like somebody else is also adding the sweet grubs, so that's pretty cool. You can see up in the top left corner, it will keep track of your ingredients and if you have any logs in the hopper. Hopefully nobody else burns the hopper. Or not the boilers downstairs when we get to that part, because I'd like to show you the process. It's not too complicated, but you put 1 log in to start, you light it with the tinderbox, and then you have to just add logs. You don't have to use the tinderbox after that as long as the fire keeps burning. Now, again, you don't want to immediately use your bowls of dye upstairs, because we're going to catch some more monkeys for the bitternuts. You use the dye on the monkey and you send them up the tree. Complete jank. Like I said, 5 flowers, 2 bitternuts. It's stupid. Everything else does not have a limit. I don't know why it is that way, but that's just the way it is. It makes no sense. This minigame is so fucking weird, but there is some benefit to actually playing. One, you get a decent amount of XP. It's nothing insane. There is a little bit of hunting XP, but I do have 99 hunters, so it's not going to affect me at all. As you can see, I didn't grab a torch this time. So also, people are repairing stuff on the other side, so that's kind of neat. And it looks like these guys are collecting flowers. We could actually, like, dumpster them this game. Like, people are actually playing, so it doesn't look like they're collecting bitternuts. A lot of people will actually do the fletching strat that I was talking about earlier, where you just chop the trees, fletch, and then if they're nice, they will dump them in the hopper. Sometimes they will just drop the logs, which does suck. The wiki says that doing the bitternuts is like the worst thing. Is this full? There are already enough flying. That's actually amazing. The wiki says that... running bitter nuts is like the worst thing in this minigame. If you have someone running flowers, bitter nuts isn't that bad to collect. Like if you can just run over here, fill up a bunch of bowls, and then collect bitter nuts, come back, drop 2. Like it's not too bad. So how many bitter nuts are we at? That will put us at 4. It doesn't look like anybody else is collecting bitter nuts. So since we have 10 minutes left, I will go and try and get as many as I can before they start putting more dye into the hopper. He may actually be... Oh, look at him go, look at him go. That's fucking amazing, dude. We are going to dumpster them. Yeah, for years, I thought I was the only person in the world that knew how to play this minigame, and it's really great seeing other people actually know how to play it. It's a pretty chill, like, community of players. So, if it's something you're interested in, you know, definitely go about doing that. It looks like they did start the process of brewing, but they have not put any logs in the hoppers or the boilers yet. So we will run back. I'm just trying to squeeze out as many points as possible here. Basically, what you're looking at the top is the bitter nuts. Each one of those is basically going to be 1 point. And then the bowls of dye is kind of complicated because you use like 3 of those. And the grubs and... the tree bark, I don't know how many of those you use, but you collect them so fast that's not really an issue. Now this log storage, I've never run out of logs from. I don't know how many of them you would need to use, but as you can see there, he does have one of the boilers going. So the process that you want to do is you put 1 log in and then you light it with a tinder box. So right there we didn't get any fire making XP. Use a tinderbox. That's the only one. As long as you keep the fire going, you will not need to use the tinderbox again. The wiki said, I believe the wiki said something about needing at least 3 logs in the boiler for it to work. So if that's the case, once you put about 10 in the boilers, it should last you the rest of the game, especially if you are soloing it. Because, like I said, you're kind of... If you're doing everything yourself, it's going to take so long to collect the ingredients. You're really only limited to about maybe, like I said, 4 to 6 points is kind of pushing it. It looks like the enemy team did score a little bit, so this may be a game that we lose. So he put logs in there but didn't light it. Oh well. You know, it's fine. Fortunately, I think we have more people. Oh, he loaded that up. So you want to keep a close eye on the machine there beside us, because the bottles will come out slow, but if one's sitting on the belt and another one comes out, it will push the first one on the ground, it will break, and you won't get a point for it. So I'll show you what that looks like when it comes out of the machine there, the bottle machine. So it pops out, disappears for a second because this game is jank, and then it appears. You want to click it, your character will then go put it in the box, and if you see there in the bottom right side, we just got a point. It's a pretty automatic process. It will just kind of do its own thing. Now that we have a little bit of time, because it's about a minute per bottle, so you're not really going to need to keep an eye on it super closely. So we're going to put the rest of our ingredients in here just to try and get as many points as possible. It looks like if we do make everything, we will get about 7 or 8 points. I believe a bottle was just made. Yep, he is putting it in now. And now it's just kind of a matter of waiting. We can put more logs in the boilers if we'd like. Keep it pretty stocked up. And also keeping an eye on the bottle machine. Like I said, the bottle machine's really slow, so you're not at any risk of it pushing a bottle on the ground. But whenever I first learned this game, and I made a bottle for the first time, and it got pushed on the ground, I was devastated. You know, it's soul crushing, especially if you do all the work. It looks like he already clicked the bottle. So yeah, that's kind of the process of how to do this. I don't know if the brewing guide book that you'll see on the ground is super helpful. I did read through it. We can kind of look at it now. As you can see, we have what is this guy doing? He's trying to trade me or something, or is he following me? Um. Oh, this guy's. This guy says you get 2 extra per win or per point made. Now it's just kind of a matter of waiting for the game to end. I wonder what this guy's doing, if he's going for collection log stuff. Most likely. I'm just doing this for pieces of 8. Also, there was an update in the last couple weeks that made it so that your pieces of 8 are no longer an item in your bank. They are... Dude, how is this guy doing that? It's not fair. I want to collect the bottle. Your pieces of 8 are just like in the shop interface when you go to buy rewards. So they no longer take up a bank space, which is kind of nice. I guess while we're waiting, we could try and get more points. There's only 3 minutes left, and we have 3 bitter nuts, so like there's not too much point in trying to get any more. If I did want to get more points, the strat would be to run over, get a bowl, or get flowers, fill up a bowl, which actually, we may need more bowls of dye. So I'll run over and do that. 7, I think the most I've ever had in a game was 8 points. But yeah, I'll look and see what the XP for this is. So you get 160 fletching XP for doing it. So that is why some people will just do fletching. And then the cooking XP that you get for putting it in the hopper is pretty nice as well. I hope that guy's still watching the bottle. It will flash at the top as the bottle is coming out, so it's not like you're at too much of a risk of missing a point, but it's just something you have to keep an eye on. Oh, see, that guy got a disease splat, so I don't know what he was doing to get it. It might be the flies that attack you. That would make more sense than fletching the logs or the bark, but you know. Yeah, that guy says that you get 2 extra points per bottle made. That does seem accurate, but I don't know if it's just like you get points for like putting each different type of ingredient in or what. But some games I'll get like 100 points. And back whenever I only put water in the hoppers, I'd always get 50 points every game. So I don't know if there was like changes to it. But Trouble Brewing is kind of like a fun game. If you could find like a clan that does this, there was some kind of thing going on here, and I was here a few days ago where a bunch of people were actually playing, and it was kind of annoying because they were on the enemy team and they stopped playing after I started playing. So, but it was pretty cool. 9 points this game. That's pretty amazing. Uh, One of the things you won't really have to worry about because if you look at the top there, we do have uh, basically 1,800 buckets of water. But if you do want to add the buckets of water, there's this thing outside. Use a bucket on it. Fills them up pretty fast, and then it's just a matter of going upstairs and dumping them. But considering that the buckets of water is the only ingredient I haven't added yet, I will do that now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like straight up impossible to run out of logs. I mean, you can, but like somebody would have to be dropping them. So we won 3-8 or 3-10, and we got 107 pieces of 8 and some craft or not crafting. Oh, we did get crafting XP, crafting, cooking, and fire making XP. Um, Come over to Honest Jimmy, and you trade him. As you can see, it's like a whole new interface now. Like you have the piece of 8 down there. The only thing that I buy is the stuff I've been brewing matured ale because it is pretty amazing. It takes anywhere from like 1 to 5 days to cook, and when you do cook ale, I will just show it off now because I have some in the Grand Exchange. We sold quite a few. I don't know if the last time I sold them is on here. Yeah, so right here I sold 16 of them for basically $1 mil. 16 is the most that you'll get because each brewing station makes 8. So this is the second time that I've had both of them mature. I've had it to where neither of them mature, and I've had it to where both. So it's the wiki says it's like 60% to be matured. But as you can see, I'm training construction right now, so like it's just something that's passive that's making me a little bit of money. That's the only reason why I do that. I hope now a lot of you learned how to play Trouble Brewing. I'm not the best guide maker, and this video is about like 20 some minutes long, so I'm going to be ending it now. Peace. Hope you have a good day.